Welcome to our daily Forex market analysis call in preparation for June 9th, 2017. Just a quick disclaimer before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. If you have questions about your individual investment needs, I recommend you talk to your investment advisor. We'll start off by taking a look at our biggest story that's unfolding currently is the UK's general election results. And here, as we can see, what we are seeing in this key points kind of here, the problem that's going on right now, so pound has dropped 1.8% to 127.20 was the low that it touched, and it's kind of hovering around that area here. And then FTSE, the futures are dropping as well, and this is kind of seems very similar to what happened during Brexit as well. We saw pound drop, pound yen dropped, and FTSE was dropping. So the reason it's dropping is because there's no clear majority. They were looking, the conservatives, or market was expecting conservatives to have the majority government, which would make things easier for them. However, what the exit polls are showing, we don't have the full results yet, but what the exit polls are showing is that the conservatives are not going to have a majority. As a result of that, we are seeing the pound drop as well. Now, we don't have the full results yet, and these are just based on the exit polls. When we get the full results, that's when we'll have a better idea of really what's going on, and things could change. So something we need to keep an eye on if we find that as the results come in, the seats kind of change, that will have that could have a different impact on the pound, and we could see the pound go up. So we'll just have to keep an eye on this as things unfold here. And in terms of the Forex Factory today, we had a big, very kind of full day. Parliamentary elections for the pound. We have the ECB rates kept unchanged. However, one of the things that market was looking for was the kind of what ECB has to say, and they didn't really talk about cutting the asset purchase program. They did say that forecasts for the economic growth were actually, they were revising them up. However, inflation wasn't in line yet. Overall, they did not give any hint as to when the asset purchase program will be tapered off. As a result of that, that was viewed as a little bit negative. And we saw the euro drop earlier, and now we are seeing that the euro has dropped, with US dollar has gone up, and euro has dropped with British pound and other all the US crosses. So let's take a look at what's happening tomorrow. So not as much excitement tomorrow. We just have manufacturing production numbers for the British pound. These numbers may not have as big an impact after the UK elections, which was the anticipated event in the market. And going into the New York session, we do have employment numbers for Canada. So that's the main news, nothing else. So kind of a quiet day in that sense. So let's go on to the charts here. We see ECB, during ECB, we had this big chop, big whipsaw. Price went up, price went down, and as we see, kind of went sideways after that. And now with the exit polls coming out, we have seen this euro drop together with the British pound. So we did see that it wasn't able to break the high here. So this was 112.80 was a key level, which it wasn't able to break. So we had a very bearish close. As a result of that, we would expect it to go lower, and it has already moved lower. The target for this would be this 1150 level. That will be the first target. If it wants to go lower, again, we'll have to kind of keep an eye on this, because things can change as the actual results come out. So if they do end up winning, if the Tories end up winning, that all of this can get reversed as a result. But for now, our target to the downside is 111.50, and then second target will be 11100, which is the bottom of this pin here. So those will be the two targets for euro. So outlook on this, especially based on this, when price does not break a high for multiple days, it generally tends to come lower. And as we can see, again, it was kind of hanging up there, waiting for the for ECB first, and now the elections, and that's why it's coming back down here. So outlook is negative on this, so we're looking at a short. This is the pound dollar here. Big drop, a quick drop, 200 pips, right. Yep, 200 pips right there, and 250 pips overall. So a big quick drop, just one quick candle as soon as those exit polls results came out, big drop here. So based on what we have here, this is a very negative, big, huge drop. This 127.70 area was an important level here, and now we have gone past that. So in this case, we may see the price go up and do one of these. So we have to be we could potentially look for 127.70 as a potential entry or level for price to stay below here. And now we should see this open up as a result. So we could see price come down lower. So I'm not expecting it to drop this whole, cover this entire area in one day, but it certainly opens this up. All of this was based on the elections being called. Now that the elections are, once they are done, and we don't see a majority that, and the reason the pound is dropping is, even though Conservative Party is winning or may win the majority of the votes, but it's not a clear majority. Basically, that creates, with the Conservative Party, markets knew exactly what to expect. Now that we don't have that, it just creates more uncertainty in the market, and markets don't like uncertainty. As a result of that, it's negative for the British pound. So again, the negotiations will start, and we'll have to see how things play out, but it just creates uncertainty, and that's why it is negative. So that is certainly, this one gets opened up, but the first target is this level here, 12700, and then beyond that, we would slowly probably make the way down. We could see price push up higher into 12800 as well, so I would be keeping my eye on that level. So from a 5-minute perspective, we are sitting into the lows here. So we'll keep an eye on it and see how this plays out. So I'm currently short in that. Aussie here. Aussie, I am still kind of holding on to that trade that we were in from yesterday, I believe it was. So that one we are still in, looking for 7,500 level, 7505 level, which is kind of the bottom of this candle here. So based on these lower highs, even though this is a doji, it's making lower highs. So I'm looking for this to move down lower. However, Aussie has not been impacted as much. So gold has been dropping, and yet we haven't seen Aussie or gold has dropped for a couple of days here, and yet we haven't seen Aussie respond or New Zealand dollar respond quite as much. So ugly chart, but either way, oil is down as well. But Aussie and New Zealand dollar have kind of held their own. So with everything else dropping, euro has dropped. So I'm looking for Aussie to, especially if they keep on dropping, pound and euro, I'm expecting this to drop as well. So based on the 4-hour here, we're still looks like we are moving lower. So the first target would be the 75.20 level, and second target here is 7,500, which is this inefficient move that will get get filled at that point. So now we are sitting right into the lows. So looking for this to move lower. So let's have a quick look. Yeah, so it looks like it's come back down now. If it holds below this S1 level, then we're looking for it to move lower. Overall, though, bias is bearish. New Zealand dollar as well. New Zealand dollar has kind of held the highs. It's been going up, but we had talked about the move getting a little compressed. So now it's into these highs here. Based on the candle close here, it does still look bullish, but the pins, now we are starting to get pins to the upside, which makes it which means that it's kind of losing steam here. So we need to watch this right now with the US dollar becoming stronger. We are seeing it come down, and the first target here would be the 71. 89, about 80 area, right into this one. So about 80 area. Second one is very close. Sorry, this is my phone going off here. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, the first one will be 71.80 level here. The second one would be 71.50 level, back into this previous support and resistance area. So based on what's going on in the market, and not just with the New Zealand dollar, the bias is to the downside here. So I'm looking for it to move down lower. And once that daily candle closes, we are probably looking, if it closes bearish, then we'd be looking for more bearishness in this. However, at this point, the first target will be 71.80 just on its own merit. So if you take a look at the 4-hour, this is where we are. We'll have to reassess this, but this one is one of the stronger ones, and it is not showing us a clear direction at this point. So this may be one of those crosses that we don't trade at the moment. Dollar CAD here, we saw this big push up. This was based on the oil inventories report that came out. So here we are still in that range. We have been in this range for the last couple of weeks. At this point, very, very neutral candle close here. So we're looking for a follow through on this. So we had a pullback, and now we're looking for a follow through into 135.50 area. So the top of the range. Once we get to the top of the range, we're going to treat this as a range bound market, just like we had talked about the euro there. So we're looking at 135.50 as the top of the range. We could see this type of a move back into the range, or the second option would be that the price goes through, breaks through, and does a back test and goes up higher. So once the price gets to 135.50 area, we'll have to look at it and see where it goes before we actually engage in the price here. So this is the 135.50 level. At this point, this looks like a bullish flag, and looking for price to move up higher here. And once it goes here, that's when we may see this act as a resistance, and we may see the price come back. But the target at this point is 135.50, looking for a bullish move higher. Euro Swiss here, Swiss franc got strong, and now we are very bearish candle close here. We saw the price go and test up high back into this support and resistance area. Now we're looking for a further move to the downside. The first target here is this level here, 108.36. Once it breaks through that, we are looking for 108.16 level here, right over there. So that will be the next target. The bias is bearish, looks like it wants to move lower. So that's the 108.16 is the next level. And beyond that, we're looking at 108 essentially. And this is our 1-hour view. Looks like it is pushing lower. So it looks heavy at the moment. Pound Swiss franc, a big drop, just like other pound pairs. So now we'll just have to wait and see with this one. This looks bearish at the moment. and it may continue lower. Big drop, and now it's we may see it move down lower. So we'll keep an eye on this. Dollar Swiss franc here, this is bullish. The close for today's candle was quite neutral. We have pins on both sides, small body in the middle, very, very neutral close for the day. But we are looking for, so right now, US dollar is strengthening as a result of what everything's, or the UK elections and all of that. So we are looking for, we are right into the target here. The next target would be 0.9718 or 20 level right there, which would mean this whole inefficiency is filled. This whole candle will get filled. So that's our target, 0.9720 area. And if we take a look at the 1 hour, as we can see, this is where we are targeting. So this whole inefficient move will get filled at that point. So we did see price move slightly lower, but since then it's been slowly making its way back up. So we are bullish on this. This is an important resistance level. So we will have to watch that, which is 0.9696. So about 9,700 level right into here. We will have to keep an eye on that. If price does not get past that, that means it may come back down. So 0.9700 will be the first target. 9720 will be the second one to the upside. Euro yen here, we had a nice bearish close, and based on that, we would expect to move lower. The target would be 122.67 area approximately, about 61.2260 level. This was a nice bearish pin bar, and as a result, we would expect follow through. We have that, a bit of that, and 122.60 will be the target here. Here we are in terms of the 1 hour, we have seen a pullback, and this is what we are looking for, 122.60, for it to test this level here. So from 4 hour, as we can see, this is a key level, and at this point, we're not looking for a break of that. We're just looking for price to get to that level. So 122.60 outlook is bearish. Pound yen, of course, outlook is bearish because outlook is bearish on all pound crosses at the moment. But again, we'll have to be careful with this one because things could change as the actual results come in. Right now, 138.94 level, or so 139 essentially is the target, and that's where we are aiming for. Looking at 1 hour, as we can see, highly inefficient moves in this one. Again, all the pound crosses are volatile, so we'll have to be careful with them. New Zealand yen, our target got met here. We were looking for 79.05 for our trade today. That has been met, but just like we talked about, New Zealand dollar hasn't been quite as bearish as some of the other ones. So with this one, we are into resistance right over here, and that's why we were short in this. But there is still bullishness in this one, so this is not as weak as it was. So our target still would be at 78.80 level, and we'll have to see how the daily closes tomorrow for us to really see if there is another trade in this one. So right now, I would say this is neutral. We are into resistance. We have a pin up top here. We have a large wick, and then we did see a pullback. But right now, I'm neutral on this. This is what we see. Price is just shopping around at the moment. I'm looking for it to come into 78.80, but again, we have to be cautious because it may just stay at that level, 79. So that's what I would. That's what I'm looking at. I'm neutral on this, but our profit target has been hit, so that we are okay. In terms of dollar yen, very, very neutral close for this, just like Swiss franc, dollar Swissy. Very neutral close at this point. We are still into this a little bit of a range here, and we are just going to watch and see. Not the best one to trade at the moment. Let's have a quick look at euro pound. Here we are, big, huge move to the upside. We had talked about how if there is a win for Conservative Party, then we are likely to see this go in the opposite direction. But because there is no clear majority, we are seeing euro pound jump up. Just there's pound weakness across the board. So this is where we are. Looks like it wants to go up, but that's mainly, it has been bearish, but it's up mainly because of the election results or exit polls at the moment. So in this case, the first target would be 88.20, and beyond that, the next target would be right into there, 88.50. So 88.20 as the first target, 88.50 as the second target, and then we'll have to kind of reassess this after we see where the chips fall. And then last one here, Euro Aussie, bearish close, but it hasn't broken the low yet. The target here is a 148.20 level, this the bottom here. And if it goes lower, the next target that we are watching would be 147.60 level. So that would be the second target. Okay, so that's it for today. Any questions or anything else that we need to look at before we call it a wrap? All right, so that looks like a no. So we'll wrap it up. Perfect. So I would say keep an eye. I'm still in the pound short here. I'm still in the pound dollar short, and I'm in the Aussie short, the trade that we were in. This is our trade room trade. So it looks like it wants to go lower, which is good. Our target is only about another 20 pips away. So that, perfect. Yeah, Walter is short Aussie and pound. Great. So yeah, so this one, we are about 20 pips away from our target, and looks like just with the way it looks right now, it looks like it should be hit. Make sure you pull your stop loss closer, so we lock in the profits as we go. Make sure it's up at least to break even +2, if not more. So this looks, so I'm just going to let it run. A pound, I'm just kind of monitoring at the moment. Looks, yeah, that doesn't look very good for the pound. Looks like it wants to move lower. So let's take a quick peek at the latest. Okay, so so this is why, because it looks like Labour Party has gained an important, they gained an important seat, so that's not good. And pound is, of course, dropping to session lows. So this, I would say, whatever news channel you want to watch, you can take a look at it. These are, I'm just looking at Bloomberg here. These are just the key points. As we can see, anytime, this is the same thing that was that happened during Brexit. I just kind of kept an eye on one of the channels that was giving the latest up-to-date news, and while you are keeping an eye on that, I was keeping an eye on the charts as well. So last time I traded pound yen and pound during Brexit, so right now I'm just in the pound dollar. So this is just, that's what I would recommend. Keep an eye on your chart, as well as keep an eye on the poll results, just the live coverage. And at this point though, we need to be in a smaller time frame, because things can get quite volatile. As we can see, pound dropped a lot, and things could change in an instant. So I would say just kind of stick with a smaller time frame. We can get our targets from the larger level, but smaller time frame is what we need to watch. So we'll just let this run and see how this plays out. But you know, we'll just let it go. Okay, so we'll call it a wrap for today, and I'll see you in the weekly webinar, for our members only webinar for tomorrow morning. But in the meantime, feel free to put some, as you guys are watching it, feel free to put some notes in the chat room. Okay, see you guys later.